Hello, welcome fellow Mythrunians to another weekly live stream. Last week's was pretty lively. I don't actually know exactly what we're going to be working on. We'll pick up some flotsam and jetsam before getting into some real stuff. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and we'll see where I am. Alright, those are the patrons. Yeah, I'm just going to pick up some odd jobs real quick first, which might be educational on their own because they're using some of the default tools built into the Moss libraries. I hope you all had a good week. Those are the patrons scrolling up over there. So I thought first, I talked about making the tent higher. One more layer up because I thought it would look better, but it also occurred to me that I think if it's one higher, then it's harder to like walk up the sides, and so the NPCs won't accidentally be walking up the sides all the time. So I think I'm going to do it. I have a little script in here that I have that can raise everything by one block, and so I did that. And then I will see. I think we should have a wide wedge. Yeah. So that will be this guy here, which we'll put underneath, and then. Because we don't have just a flat wall. So I'm going to have to continue this. Oops, wrong way. The tent shapes are a little weird. Oops. So this is not my preference. Like I would have rather had a like straight hanging down piece, but there is no such thing. So I hope everybody had a productive week. I actually did, though, like not always in a visible way. I spent some time after last week. I spent some time writing unit tests for activities, the state transitions between activities, and making sure that, on success, non-failure were always called when they were supposed to and never called extra times and stuff like that, and sort of really documenting how all that works to decide if I'm happy with how it works. And it turned out, yes, there were some bugs there. Also, there were some bugs in how I wrote my activities. So that is something I'm wrestling with, not because, they were fairly easy to fix, but if it's a mistake I'm constantly making in my head and I wrote the game, then perhaps the model that I'm using is a little flawed. So I'm thinking about that in the back of my mind. It's workable to going forward, and so that's what I'll do. So I'm going to save this, copy. Let's see, source main shaper block files tent 2, I think. Then we will copy that to client exports. Yeah, okay. So let's go and make sure that looks okay, and I can talk about what the NPCs are doing and what one of the things I forgot when we were doing all this before. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So yeah, one of the things that I missed before is that even though we're writing this like code, we have to think of it like each activity is a node in a behavior tree, in the sense that every time this run method is called, that's not good. You were happy with it before. Unexpected token. Can't I multiply things? there's an extra, I see. It's not, that's the parenthesis it's complaining about. We should be able to just correct that here. So I got it right here. I didn't get it right here. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like before, at the top of the method, we said, like up at the top of the method, we said, hey, if the distance is greater than a certain amount, then do the walk activity to walk where we're supposed to go. And then if it's forked, you know, then do a wander action. But the problem is that when you fork these out, we're really just running them inline. We're saying, okay, run this walk, run this wander. You know, if by the way, if we're already doing something, don't do anything more, just return. And so when we had the if distance greater than 4, you know, walk, what happened is we'd run that walk activity until the distance was less than 4. And then we would stop running it. So the walk activity never got to think of itself as complete. And so then later we would go to restart it. But it would put it in a weird state because, anyway, it should have technically worked, but it wasn't the right way to do it. And so now we've got it set up so first we walk. When the walk is done, we won't walk anymore. We'll keep calling in. Once walk is done, this won't run anymore. It'll be a no-op. And then we can do the wander, and we did wander as an activity instead of an action because it gives us a little more control. And so if that is forked, you know, we'll keep running, and eventually this will have finished, and then we'll check the distance, and if the distance is greater than a certain amount, we'll say, hey, walk, I need to restart, which means next time we come in, we'll walk. Otherwise, you know, whatever the case, restart the wander, so we'll wander, and by the way, no matter what, we're always working. We'll never succeed or fail in this particular, you know, the patrol activity. Anyway, let me try again. But the other thing I forgot is that this is all the live stuff for when we're actually, like as a player, we're close enough to the NPCs to watch them do all their detailed stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, the town, or the settlement in this case, the bandit camp, hey, how's it going, Peter? Is managing all of this stuff and in the background without actually doing any of it, right? It doesn't know exactly where all these things are. And so when we get close to the bandit camp, it needs to be able to calculate, oh, today on, you know, the first month, the fourth day of the first month, you know, the bandits should be patrolling over here, or the bandits should be patrolling over here. It should know predictably, even if it's based on a random sequence, it should predictably know where they are on any given day without actually having to calculate all that. So there's routines that are supposed to work through that. And it only has to bother to put them somewhere, you know, in between positions or whatever when the player gets near. So that was something I needed to remember because it changes how you do the algorithm. See, I had this all set up as one big patrol where they would just randomly go around. But that won't really work. I need to be able to, at any given time, plop them in an area where they are likely to be. And so what needs to happen is, associated with this bandit camp needs to be some set of data that says, oh, you know what, these are the places we tend to patrol. And then similar to how it assigns the, you know, who's going to do watch that night, who's going to stay back and tend camp, there'll be something like, oh, on this day, you know, they're going to patrol these 3 spots, and on this day they're going to patrol these 3 spots and stuff like that. And so that on any given day I can say, oh, today they're this is like when the player approaches and it's already 4 in the afternoon, they say, oh, they were going to you know, patrol these 3 spots, and it's almost the end of the day, so they're already at this spot, and I can just like warp them there. So anyway, but I did get the actual state of things working, and so we'll get that. The other thing is I go back and forth so far. So a habitat, so hold on. This is all to do with persisting data, which is something we're going to probably work on, at least notionally. Okay, so these guys are already on patrol. They were left here from before. Yeah, so that's the other thing. I fixed a whole bunch of thread state bugs, but I still have to reset this script every time to kick off the AI for some reason. And it's a bug I'm leaving in because it's useful to me to have everyone stand where they were until I'm ready to watch. So they'll do their thing. They'll do their wander action. Should bandits be aggressive to the player? Yes. Well, I mean, it may be something they decide, right? Like at some point, depending on how tough you look or whatever, maybe they'll decide. But that's the idea: is that bandits hang out, and when you come near, they're supposed to get aggressive with you. For right now, there is no combat yet, and so I figured they'll just come and have a sort of comical. So this is one thing we have to fix too, with the wander activity, to make sure they don't get stuck in corners. Anyway. I imagine they'll come up and come up to the player and start a dialogue with them that basically says well, it's your lucky day because we're not in the fighting mood today, on your way with you and whatever blah blah blah, whatever words I choose there, but something comical to that effect of but yeah, it's like really amazing how even though I picked this simple bandit camp, there's a ton of stuff I'm getting to work out that'll work with actual settlements. And so like one of the things here, what I was going to talk about with persistent data, see, sometimes I can get him to, if I like come in here, there he goes. Get him unstuck here. I'm round instead of a corner, so you're less likely to get stuck on me. But like I was talking about how the bandit camp probably has, some specific patrol spots, because it doesn't really make sense if a bandit camp's smack in the middle of the woods. They're not just going to randomly pick spots. They're going to pick spots that are good ambush positions or whatever. So on some point when the bandit camp is generated in the middle of the wilderness, probably there will be specific points they pick to hang out, 3 of them during the day or 2 of them during the day or something. And so it wouldn't just be like random around the circle. And so but what the point is that a settlement is going to have like a list of things, and I always imagined it to be kind of like a spreadsheet, always with the turning off my pen, sort of I always imagine it to be kind of like a spreadsheet of information where the columns would be things like maybe, so even like the names of like when the habitat is generated itself, maybe it has generated like the name and the clothing and whatever for all of the different bandits that are in this particular settlement, without actually fully fleshing them out, later to be fully fleshed out or something to that effect. Because the real settlement, a town, would have a whole bunch of resources that it's managing, that its AI, its town AI, is going to want to look at all the time. And while all of that stuff is represented as entities in the world, I kind of go back and forth that it's kind of a pain to always pull that stuff up. Like right now, to pull all of the names of the entities for the bandits for the bandit camp, we do an entity query, which is fine. But if every time I do an update I have to pull that, it's kind of a pain. So there's a certain level of AI that could operate just on sort of a tabular list of data, where perhaps the this column is the entity ID, 1, 2, 3. What does I say? ID. And then it could have like other information about what their schedule is or different things like that, right? So but also it is data already stored in the world. But I have considered making this, like, especially during development phase, it'd be really nice to be able to look at this as a CSV file or something and pop it into Excel or OpenCalc or something and look at it. And certainly for all of the data of the camp, and so for the bandit camp, perhaps it keeps track of, there's another one for patrol routes. Yeah, I can't. Right. So like, there's another one that has the list of blah 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 blah, the locations and periods of where they'll hit those particular ones. I don't know, but that's something I'm thinking about. We'll probably simulate it as we develop it out here. Every time I do this, like, I go to like develop the table and I'm like, you know what, these are already entities with components and I don't really need the table, so I haven't fleshed it out, and we might not flesh it out here. We're sort of going to start building up the actual bandit camp from the ground up, I think, because this one I built this bandit camp, right? I put all the tents down. I told this campfire that it was a bandit camp. I told each of these guys, I randomly generated NPCs and then I right-clicked on them and told them they were bandits. But really what's going to happen is that during world generation, some of these... Oh, I can't drag. I keep thinking I can like middle-click and drag. But during world generation, perhaps some of these caves or these isolated points of interest that are out here would be marked as a bandit camp, because like a lot of these are like old ruins and stuff, and so it seems logical that a bandit camp would set up. Yes, that's what I'm exactly talking about, where they're spawned. So part of the points of interest, like when it spawns like one of these ruins or some kind of marker out here, like all of the points of interest are some kind of marker, even if there's just like a fence in the middle of the woods. And it seems logical that a group of bandits, especially if they were a part of like a larger kind of guild or something or whatever, they might pick common landmarks. Oh, that fence that's way out in the middle of nowhere, let's set up our camp there, that kind of thing. Eventually it will be based on where the roads are, but there aren't roads yet. But when there are roads, probably a bandit camp won't be too far from the road, but roads are sort of protected by the guilds. So there'll be like guild soldiers and stuff that protect the roads. So bandit would never go to the road, but it might be near the road. So anyway, yeah, so one of the things we might work on today is actually sorting through some of these isolated pois and figuring out how a bandit camp gets placed in the world. And then actually start generating one instead of me having manually constructed it. But there's a certain amount of work we can do with this bandit camp as far as let me turn the map off now. As far as making sure the patrol routes are followed and so on in a sort of protected environment. Thing is, if I mess with the time that way, it will be off from their daily schedule. So one of these guys is supposed to be patrolling. Uh-oh. He bugged out. His activity failed for some reason, and it happened. Oh, it's still failing. Distance square. Oh, distance square 2D, or distance 2D square, I bet it is. Yeah, it's distance 2D square. So I screwed up. I did this like right at the last minute. And so he can't actually... There we go. There we go. Now he's patrolling. And so, yeah, so there's a little bit we can do. Yep, they could. There is no... Like, we have an inventory, but... well, this has got a bunch of crap in it that I generated, and... but there's no inventory that the player has that I'm willing to let the bandits steal yet, because it's all auto-generated. Like, like the magic wands that are provided by the game are sort of cursed in the sense that you can't drop them. They're always going to take spots in your inventory, and so bandits can't steal those. But yes, when you do have loot, that's the idea. You'd have to either give some of your loot to the bandits, or they would sneak up on you and steal something. Anyway, so we can advance time a little bit. Oh, so he failed again. I was playing Dwarf Fortress earlier and some goblin bandits broke my spine and cut my hands off. That's the other thing, is I have to deal with wounds and damage, which will be similar. No signature of method. I fixed that one. 278. Oops, 278. Distance 2D. Or did I screw it up? Did I do it the wrong way? Where is what I want to see? I'm looking forward to the health injuries. One of my favorite parts of it. Yeah, me too. So distance 2D squared. That's the name of the distance 2D squared. Oh, I need to give it the 1.0. That's what I missed. Okay, so now he'll start doing his thing again. There we go. So let me think. What do we want to do next? Well, first of all, I want to, while these guys are doing their thing, I want to import that tent and see how it looks. So new blueprint, Control X, tent. All right. Now we'll call this tent to tent. Yeah, carved materials don't look right on these, I think. Oh no, maybe I did use carved materials. Yeah, I think even the insides look better with, yeah. Okay, we'll do with carved materials. For those you don't know, carved materials just changes how the UVs work. Like when you're this way, yeah, I definitely used carved materials before. The textures are applied to this as if they were full-size blocks and then shrunk down, right? Whereas when you do carved materials, the textures are applied to the little blocks as if this was all one big block, and so they're stretched out to match whatever a big block would have. That's one of the features in the new engine, which lets you make things like secret doors that actually look like real blocks and stuff like that. But it also makes things like the wood texture look better in cases like this. So let's save the blueprint, and then we can load our object wand, equip, and put another tent over here. Boink. And that's weird, it's letting me put it in the, oh, there we go. Oh, this is not the right tent. Whoops. Shoot. That's the same tent we had before. Will you be able to speak with the bandits? Yeah, definitely. You know, for some reason they don't attack you, then you'll be able to speak with them. Ooh, so tent taller was what I had before. Intent. Edit blueprint. So that's the regular tent. Back to selection. Tent 2 capitalized. Edit blueprint. Yeah. That's the wrong. Can I delete them? Yeah. Delete. So new blueprint. Control X. It was called tent2.blocks. Did I put it in the wrong place? Oh, it's looking for blueprints. Yeah, okay, I did put it in the wrong place. Move ... client exports tent2 to ... client blueprints tent3. There we go. Because there already is a tent 2 apparently, because that's what got me confused in the first place. Here, tent 3. There we go. Select. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I couldn't make it any bigger if I wanted to. without bringing it in and making it look like one of those other tents. So anyway, we'll do this. We will set it to tent, oh yes, tent 3, tent. Cool. Could bandits also have dogs as companions? Absolutely. I mean, that's not going to happen right away, but yeah, I imagine that for sure. That the person who hangs back at watch would really appreciate having a dog with them. Okay, so then, yeah, there we go. So now we can have one of these. There we go. It's too far away from the campfire. So just trying to compare them to the other ones. Let's actually get rid of this one. Delete object. Okay, let's move you over here. Let's make sure you're actually, there we go. I don't know why it's letting me partially put them in the ground. If I make myself in walk mode, it'll be easier to do. There we go. Alright, that tent, and then we should be able to move this one over too. I'm like walking on something over here. Oh, it's that log. It's that log set. When you're used to walking faster, the walk mode is really weird feeling. Okay, so he's got a nice bedroll. I believe that an NPC could climb in there. Oops, his bedroll is clipping into the... I believe that an NPC could crawl in there. And more importantly, let me turn off walk mode. Okay. More importantly, let me make it solid. Come on. There we go. Make solid. Oh, no, I can still walk up it. Oh, well. I was hoping that it would be... I'm not sure they can, but we can. Anyway, so I don't know. This was my original tent idea, which I like from a... It definitely looks like something you could carry, fold up and carry on your pack. These start to get big enough that... I don't know. I'm still... Actually, I'm kind of fond of the middle version. I think it looks more like what I was going for. This starts to look like one of those big market tents. It starts to look a little too big. So I may settle on this middle one. Alright, so they're all eating. Yeah, so that's another thing before I release, I've got to work out their animations and stuff so that they actually sit down. Oh, that's one thing we could do real quick. Make a proper log. It's not important. I could just as easily make camp stools, which wouldn't be a bad idea anyway. Actually, what would a camp stool look like? Let me just play with something real quick. Let's see. Could we have a wood cube, or even a... Do I have square tree trunks? No. Do I have square logs? Some of the things I didn't bring over from Mythruna. Oh, but the horizontal cylinder is a full block height. So technically I already have the thing I need to make a inbuilt assembly. But yeah, I guess I never brought the square logs over. Alright. So let me see, what I was thinking of trying... Yeah, these are two, I don't know. I was thinking of using like these as in like a circle. to make a camp stool, but I don't think that's going to look good. I think I'll stick with yeah, back selection cancel. I think I'll stick with oh, I keep saying it. Yeah, that's why discard changes. So apparently we've already got the log that I wanted, which I could turn into an object, but we're going to see if I really do have it. So that would have been log. It's log, it's log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood. No, see, that's a full block. That's what I mean. I wanted that to be half size. And I don't think the assembly lets me do that in the game, but I could do it manually. Let me let's do log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood. The other thing is, I think when we do, no, I think actually we do want this like just like this. So let's make it sort of 2 blocks wide. Or 3? Yeah. Or we could even do 4. I think 3 will be good, because that'll be a little wider than a meter. It just looks, the proportions look better to me. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. Carved materials would look dumb here. So save those. And then I think Workbench won't let me do halves. Only, yeah, I can only do quarters. So I'd have to build it separately, but that's okay. So let's go back to blueprints, log, edit the blueprint, and I'm going to export it. I've been trying to do lowercase names just to be consistent as far as object names go. Let's X. Okay, so that should have saved it. Back to selection. Okay, what are these guys doing? Okay, so they're off on patrol. Let's go check out their patrol. Yeah, so I think their focus point is like right here or something, so they're always coming back and getting stuck in this particular place. They also, when we set them up for patrol, I set them up with really short wander activities. I could set them up with longer, so like or minimum of 4 seconds, maximum of 8 seconds, and then give them a farther distance before they decide they want to come back. So let's go with 5 meters away, and then we'll still make them get within 3 meters. So anyway, yeah, so he keeps getting stuck. Let's like knock you out of the corner at least. So now that I've converted wander to an actual activity, I could potentially do occasional queries to see if they're stuck like this and force them to turn around and go a different direction rather than the pure random walk. Yes, now they're stuck in the trees. But if they get too far away from, if they get too far away from their little center area there, they should like hurry up and walk back. You guys need to go the other way. Go the other way. All right. Well, let's. I kind of want to know where the settlement is going to pick. So let me think about how to do that. Oh, he's well and good. There we go. Thought he was really caught. Anyway, they'll do this until 6 o'clock, and then they'll head back to camp. One of the reasons that I was testing this because I also wanted to see how long it took them to navigate from there back to camp. And it's about 30 seconds, which means like if I double the distance, which is what I had originally planned, they'll find patrol routes, 64 meters away or whatever. That it'll take maybe a minute to get back. It's a cool looking town. So yeah, so at the end of the day, they'd go back and they'd continue their cycle. But let's keep it on them for the moment. Let's start talking about the data that goes into the settlement. So here we go through all of the mobs that were generated, which could have been in a spreadsheet, but we query them. Actually, in this case, the town already knows. But what do I want to do? I want to generate a bunch of random points spaced periodically. Not random, but points spaced periodically. And then I would like to visualize them. So let's... Okay, so this was creating a new settlement. So we could have in here for now, we could have patrol spots. We're inside of a class, so I don't think we have easy access to elevation. It's really something I need to fix. Right. It's not even on activate, on deactivate. What do I have access to in a settlement? Do I have a start? No. Activate is the start. So on activate, I could query any kind of data and load these patrol spots. For now, we're just going to randomly pick them all. So we will... I'm going to steal my random direction method from up here somewhere. This one. Okay. So we'll just stick this up here because I don't want to. This is probably a utility I should provide on one of the other classes, but. Okay, so we'll start at a random. Well, so this is the thing, is I actually don't want to do it this way. So we'll start with a double radius equals, I think 32 is what I've been using. And then we'll say double angle equals math random new, so yeah. No, we want to fixed for now. I want it to be the same every time, so next double times math.pi times 2. So anywhere in the circle. And let me think. I'm trying to think how much I want to divide the circle up. Maybe just in the 8 cardinal directions. Relative to that starting angle. What are the things doing now? Did they go back? Yep, they went back for dinner. So that part's working. Now they're doing their yum 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 thing while they eat. Where'd the other guy go? Uh-oh. We lost somebody. Oh no. Where'd he go? I don't have their names, so I can't easily tell. Oops, that's not what I want. Oh, he's stuck in the tree. He should be trying to get back. Is he... Oh, no, he's eating here. Yeah, so he failed to walk there. I guess he couldn't navigate out of the tree for some reason. You're going to have a bad time, my dude. Are you going to try to navigate here in a minute when it... Yeah, see, you're trying to go sleep, but you're not there. Okay. And did you fail? Yeah. Okay, so there's a logic problem in the things they won't... Well, I mean, even if he wandered, he wasn't going to get any better. So there's a an issue with pathfinding out of some situations. What are you doing? Wanting to cut up the tent? Goofball. So he's got his tend camp activity. All right, back to what we were doing. So, yeah, let's do 8. Make 0, I less than... Oops, I less than 8. I plus plus double delta equals divided by 8. So then vec3d dir equals let's do it the easy way. Math sine of angle plus delta times I. Alright, it's cosine. Actually, it probably doesn't matter. 0 math sine angle plus delta times, oops, times I. Okay, so that should give us a direction. And then the point would be dir mult, the radius that we want. And so then we can add patrol spots, add point. And I think in here we cannot easily get the I don't think I gave myself a utils class yet. So normally in this, there's a scope issue. Normally in this code you'd be able to access the global, I think, even at regular Groovy, you'd be able to access the global scope, but the way I have defined these different handlers for the closures, like especially this update habitat factory. So for some reason, I think when you create a class in there, it doesn't. Classes themselves don't have access to that. So the point is, I have a get. Like I have a. We could say. I think it takes 2. Yeah, 2 arguments. We don't want just the raw point on the 2D map. We want the elevation for that. And so I could say elevation point.x point.z, but I think that's going to fail. Yeah. So there is no. So we're going to make a. We're going to cheat. World utils. Oops, class. World utils. Closure, get elevation, static. And we'll say world utils get elevation equals get elevation. And then we'll be able to do this. Bridge the gap between outside the class and inside the class. So we should be able to do this. Nope. Line 1178. I should be able to say no. It doesn't like those two arguments, or it doesn't like the method. But get elevation is a thing, or maybe that's not what it's called. It is called get elevation. Oh. Yeah, I said it right there. We could maybe, actually I think there's already a get elevation in world utils. Is that not true? In the world API? I don't think so. There should be. There absolutely should be. Okay, so let's make it a global, see if that helps. Nope. Let me see then. World utils get elevation. Log info. World utils dot get elevation. And I'm gonna put one out here too. It's like it's not really executing this. No, it has a closure there. So it's something else wrong with that closure. I hate when we get caught in these groovyisms. So what have I done wrong? Is it expecting... Yeah, it's expecting integers. That's what it is. Alright, so then what we want to do is say math.floor. Alright, that's better. There we go. Alright, and the other thing we want to do is like I want to put those on the ground as like big arrows or something. Excuse me. I thought I had some... Oh yeah, so we had some helpers over here. Debug action listener. Alright. I don't think I'm using any debug shapes here, but I'm pretty sure I did over here. Yeah. So that's what we want. Something to that effect. And so similarly to the other, we're going to want to static no, this should be okay. Is debug text a temporary? Or or debug shape, I think I removed them all at the bottom. Yeah, right there. So I could do the same thing over here. And maybe, no, I don't already do it because we would have found it when I did that before. Okay, so we can, but we don't want to do it there. We want to do it at the top because I'm about to add a bunch more. And so then we want to make sure to import the debug shape up at the top or we will have a problem. Okay, so let's do that. Make sure it compiles. Yes. Okay. Now let's look at other place we use debug shape. Let's copy this. That is what we want to do. Okay, where? Too many things in this one file. That's always gets me. Alright, so here, oops. See, that's what I was talking about. A lot of times I end up creating an entity anyway. We could have set this, we are setting this as a position on a component, and so I could have just made this position and given it a relationship to the town, a child of, or something. Alright, so we want to say, not dir, we want vec3d unit y dot mult 10. We want to be able to clearly see this thing. And we'll put it at the point. Let's see if this works. Oh, I don't have an entity data. I think. Settlement, it does. Okay, so I should be able to get at it. Nope. Yuck. And so that's in. I don't provide access. So we will do this. We will say static entity data ed world utils ed equals entity data. Oops, actually I want the whole thing. And then up here I'll just cheat. Say def ed equals world utils ed. Alright, so that should let us get past that compile issue. Yes, alright. Now where did it put those? That is a good question. I don't even remember what color I made them. I don't think it did it. Oh, no, it did. It did them relative to the origin of the world. So, you know what? I'm going to help out my boy. They're both going to be stuck now. So, let's give them a path out of here. To be honest, it may be these tree branches because they have bigger collision shapes. They look like their physics collision shapes are different than their than they look. It looks like they both got out now, so maybe what I really need to do is block them off from being able to go back here. There we go. Yeah, see, you guys, just stop messing around, would you? All right. So what I forgot to do is add the camp location, the settlement location. Which can I get from here? This settlement definitely has a location. Can I get my entity or my location though? See, this is the thing. If I didn't provide access to the entity data, I didn't provide access to, which means like I don't have a getter to get the so what I need to do is get the camp location, right? But getting that I can't do from here because I don't know what my settlement ID is. It's the HAB ID. Can I see HAB ID? And I will do something HAB ID get ID just to see if it's going to fail. Oh, it didn't. So let me I should really put this on a macro. I do it enough that okay, yeah, okay, we do have access, our HAB ID. So I may have been wrong about some of what I said earlier about anyway, vec3d camp location. Oh, you know what? I probably should have left these up for a minute. Vec3d camp location equals HAB ID location log info loc camp location. And just in case it works, we're going to say camp location dot add. There we go. Hey, we just created a bunch of debug shapes. And where's the thing? Alright, so we know what the camp location is. And, yep, okay. Huh. That is not at all what I expected. Why though? That seems really random. Like they should have been so I put the camp literally on the campfire that she is standing in the middle of. That is not good for you. What kind of defenses do your pants and stuff have? Do you have like complete fire immunity? You must. Alright, so like they should have been spaced evenly around the camp, but they seem to be randomly placed around the world. Alright, let's try this again. Maybe there's a paging issue. I may add where it thinks the camp is. Okay, so it put them consistently in the same place. So whatever error is happening is my own dumb fault somehow. So let's angle plus, oh, well that's, yeah, so angle plus delta times y. Right. And then double x equals math cosine rads. Double z equals math sine rads. So we can come in here. X comma 0 comma z. Log info. Oops. Dir. Let me, while I'm here, make one at the camp location too. Actually, yeah. debug entity. I don't want to have a name collision. So we create the entity, type arrow. We'll make it red. And we'll put it at the camp location. We'll just debug all the things. Oh, I lost everybody's. YouTube says I had 7 before, but now I'm down to 3. Not an exciting live stream, apparently. All right, so this should nope, all this should be good. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I knew I was gonna kick myself later for not putting that further up the top of the method. No such property Y for class Bandit camp. Oh. Oh. Times I. That was a typo. Okay. So up here, we should have okay, so let's see where it put the red arrow. Where does it think? Oh, so it thinks the camp location is there. That's good. That's where it is. And then, oh, so now it's working. Yeah, so there must have been a typo in my previous code. So now those are all of the patrol locations. That's not bad. That's probably pretty decent, actually. Maybe I do like the 32-meter patrol distance, even for reals. Up there, coming back. Must be dinner time. Coming back for dinner. Uh-oh, you are stuck. Yeah, it's because these tents form kind of a funnel there. All right. Okay, so we have locations. And then the idea being, instead of instead of having a schedule where they're just on patrol all day, we could have that. We could have a routine, a single patrol routine that knows what the daily positions are and can calculate that, and that actually will eventually happen. Or I could set them up as separate patrol activities that are just then on the schedule. So like 3 a day. Let's see, they start at 9, they end at 6, 10, 12. So like they could do 3 hours. Wait, 9 to 6. That's right, 9. Yeah, 9 hours. So they could do 3 hours per patrol. And then how would they know which spot to be at, though? So this may be pointing at a limitation to our routines. I could build it into the routine. Trying to think what gets this done on the live stream. So in fact, there will be routines that know that a particular NPC could be at one of 3 locations that are. So, for example, a blacksmith routine would probably just give him, work in the smith routine that won't actually manifest into specific activities until the player gets near, because there's no reason for us to manage that whole schedule. He's going to be in the same rough building the whole time, but there'll be like maybe 3 locations he might be at any given time that he cycles through, and so a certain time of day you come near it and it'll pick one or interpolate between them. But that'll be up to the routine, and then it will set the position and set the activity to be whatever he was about to do. And this is very similar to the band. This is one of the reasons I picked this, is because it makes me flesh out these things that I'm going to need. But I'm just thinking for the live stream, maybe I can do it in a simpler way. But the problem is patrols are set by disposition, and dispositions don't have parameters, which is another problem that I probably have to solve at some point. So I'm just trying to decide, do I schedule these differently? I could give each patrol routine a location. So let's do that against my better judgment. So where is test routine? Yeah, see, these do almost nothing. I could create class patrol routine extends test routine private vec3d patrol loc vec3d patrol loc entity patrol loc, and then we want to say super, what did I just call it, patrol doink, yeah. So for now we'll just leave it. So disposition makes it a little more flexible. Super entity disposition potion disposition this dot patrol loc equals patrol loc, and then we will override the onActivated. We will call, no, see, this is the issue. I can't set the, location in the disposition. So the patrol activity itself would have to have too much information. What are these guys doing back here? Oh, he's stuck in the... So there's a sort of a overall disposition you can set for the NPC. And so one of the things we could do is we could give them a temporary location as a attribute on themselves, which I think is what I'm going to do. So there is a way built into the scripting framework to, you know what, I don't have a little probably we're going to want to kill Mythruna and rerun it soon. I think that in the new code there's a memory leak over time. So anyway, in the base object API, nope, wrong file. There we go. there are some entity ID methods. Actually, .meta class. Yeah. So you can resolve object property, object type delegate name. I thought I could set these directly. But maybe not. There's the idea that there's sort of general properties you can set on any entity, and I thought I had mapped them through to convenience methods, but apparently not. In which case, I don't think I want to use it. We could use relationships. A location relationship would work. So let's do that. And so what is location relationship? Yeah, just a location. It doesn't have to be. Okay. So we will. I don't. So I need to say. I need to be able to get the entity. Return entity, so that when I'm down here in the subclass, I can get it. So we want to say get entity, and then we want to say location relationship dot create. Oh, let's just say def entity equals get entity. So the relationship is the entity to the patrol loc, and then we'll call that patrol loc. Amazing. Oh, yeah. And we'll say world utils.ed. We're going to hack it all up. And then we'll call super on mob activated brain start time current time. Okay, so let's see if that compiles. It do indeed compile. So a lot of times, like, I learn a lot in these live streams and I go back and fix it, and this is probably one of those cases where I'm going to go back and rewrite all this stuff tomorrow. But let's get something working. Okay, so we've got patrol spots. We'll pick 3. In addition to the 3 patrol times, patrol 1, 2, 3. So they'll walk 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, which is 15. And then the locations. No, we'll do this after. Game days, first day. Yeah, first, second, third. Yeah, so int first patrol equals day. Oh no, days percent. What did I call it? Patrol locs. Patrol spots. That's not gonna cause me problems later for sure, right? Size. Let me just make sure that that's not gonna blow up. Oh, it's gonna blow up in a whole bunch of ways. Yeah. I forgot I haven't renamed all the 1305. Yeah, so I gotta change all these to patrol 1, patrol 2, patrol 3. That's a known issue. First patrol. No, that's it. We want No. First patrol, that is right. So then second patrol equals patrol. Oops. See, I want to do an interval class that lets me do these things easier rather than having to run them out every time. Ooh. Third patrol. It's called spot. Spot. Patrol 2. Alright, and so then instead of this, we'll say patrol routine and patrol spots. First patrol spot. 2, 3. 2, 3. First patrol spot. Second patrol spot. Third patrol spot. And I think we can just copy these to the other patrol, which is different than tend camp. Okay, so this should still work. Nope. Something else is broken. No such property patrol for class blah 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 1305. Oh. Patrol 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then even this would need to know the start time for tending camp. Oh, something else wrong. No such property patrol for 1316. Patrol. Oh, first patrol spot. Durr. I could have probably said patrol spot 1 and patrol spot 2. Saved myself some time. Did it fail this time? Or is everybody working? Hope something else. No such property patrol. 1348. Patrol 1. Oh. Typo. Let's try now. Something else is wrong. Could not find matching entity ID string vec3d. Did I do a different patrol routine? Entity ID. Oh. Yeah, my bad. Let's try again. Hey! Alright, they should all go and patrol now. But not to a specific location because they're not set up to do that yet. Uh-oh. Yeah. Things are getting sluggish. I may have to kill the game and start it over. Oh, it's not too bad. Don't know why we've got these other big Java processes running. Yeah, since I'm only using 35% of my heap. It's just I keep getting like major lag spikes. So something is happening. Alright, so these guys are on patrol in their standard spot, but let's get them to go on patrols in the correct spots. Alright, so then in the patrol routine, we currently calculate the patrol location using this stuff. But instead, we will this dot target equals what did I decide that the... Let's see, we got a location relationship, and that will return the actual entity relationship guy. So we want relationship patrol. I think I capitalized it. Oh, it was patrol spot and it was lowercase. Or it was patrol loc and it was lowercase. Right? Patrol loc, yes. That's something to get right. Dot. Let's look it up. Location. Oops. I clicked multiple times. Location. Let's see if that bugs out. Oh no, they're going to try to go to one of the spots. Where they be? Where'd you guys go? Are you still over here? Are you going to fail to navigate there? Nope. Alright, where are you guys going? Where is your patrol spot right now? Apparently over there somewhere. Where are they headed? Probably... What are you doing? Oh, she failed, and so she recalculated, and so she was doing a random wander while she recalculated. That was kind of cool, though. She got stuck in a loop, but yeah, so they're headed over here. Alright, so this is their current patrol spot. And what time of day is it? It is 2 o'clock, so in a second, well, in like 30 seconds, they should hit a different patrol spot. See, probably the patrol activity, it'd be nice if we had debug text like in here that would tell us the location, but that's fine. We could have also set a debug position. Oh man, my Pepsi's all gone. I forgot. So sad. I need to have like a cooler over by the computer over here so that I can have one on standby. Okay, I'm just waiting to see. They'll kick over in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now they're going to patrol a different location. Hopefully. Yep. Nope. What I want to do is let me reset the script and see if they then will pick the correct, yeah, March. So now they're going to go where they're supposed to go. So there was a problem with the activity transition. So now they're going to the next spot, which I think is maybe inside one of these houses. Or just on the other side of this house. Uh-oh. Yeah. This is a problem. There is some kind of activation. Oh no, we're just locked up. There's some kind of activation bug where... am I right on the line? Okay, I'm going to have to kill the game here because it's about to die. Yeah. There's a problem where when the mobs cross a certain threshold, they go inactive, and I have not figured out why this happens. Yeah, so these guys are not activated, and nothing will make them activated. There's no amount of moving around that can get it. And so I keep hoping to hit this when I can actually debug it. Unfortunately, this is not one of those times. But it's very frustrating because I've even had AI look at the code to try to figure out where my gap is, and we can't figure it out. Anyway, this time it might have just been that there's a leak somewhere. Something I need to sort out before I do another release. But it's like tracking down leaks is one of those things, is it doesn't matter how many you have, the strategy is pretty much the same. And so it's almost okay to just keep pressing forward and then deal with them all at the same time, because once you've got to start strapping on a profiler and running it through memory access tools and things, you'll find all of the things, not just the one you're having today, but the one you'll create tomorrow and the next day. So I'm going to wait until, plus I could end up removing the leaks, the resource leaks, in the process of cleaning all this up. It could be something just in my scripts. So anyway, pays to wait, but it's frustrating. Although it was interesting, after last week's live stream, I left the game running. I forgot to shut it down, and I came back late Sunday because I didn't use my computer most of the day Sunday. I came back late Sunday, it was still running and still playable. So it had been running for almost 24 hours and still working. So apparently if you're not running around a lot, you can still come back to it. My PC was not happy at all, but yeah, I don't know if I would call it very stable. I was not playing it, it was just running. But in general, Mythruna, when you're sitting still, is not doing much, especially since I've got the random encounters turned off, so there's not like butterflies flying around and stuff. But running around, you will definitely run out of memory at some point, because there are some caches that I leave unbounded, and it's a problem. And so I need to go and clean up that code. Okay, so you are heading to dinner now. Walk to nearest object. You're going to walk up there. Yeah. So unfortunately, so this is actually maybe a good setup for me to test that problem, because they walk far enough away that they cross a lot of activation boundaries. But I may need to add some extra debugging to my... What I want to do is have a detailed map that I can drill into and actually see the town layout, which would be really nice. But I could plot the different activated zones on the map as well. And really, when you're inside the town, this should not be a big blue dot anymore. That's kind of dumb. But it is kind of showing you the size on the map, but it could be a circle at that point and not a big blue dot. Alright, so let's get these guys time, what is it? Let's do 8 hours. So that's gonna put us 3:19 in the morning. At least I'm not the only one who postpones implementing the actual purging of cache industry. Yeah, right. Well, I don't know what size to make them, right? That's the other thing. What's a good size? I don't know. But it's not a great policy here, because there could be some hidden bugs in there, in the sense that if you never purge things from the cache, then you aren't testing when they get recached. And if you've set it up with like a Guava cache, like a lot of the things I use a Guava weak cache for, and so those do have a bounds on them. Effectively, only what's in RAM is being used at any given time. And so maybe that's a poor example. But if you never purge things from your cache, then you don't check what happens when maybe you have old code that's holding an old entry that got removed from the cache and new code that's got a new entry. For me, that's what I use the Guava weak value cache for, because the only point of those caches is to make sure that everybody in all of the different systems is looking at the same object instead of different versions of the same object. I use that for the block data a lot to make sure that no matter what, the game and players aren't editing two different copies of the array that's holding these for a particular area. Anyway, let me do time 3 hours. I do have a theory about why when they start doing the yums. Oh, see, that's the other thing is the all these text messages that come up from their feet, and I think it's because right here you can see that the real game time and the client game time are way different, and so I think the algorithm that's used to find their position, let me get rid of the map, it's calculating a value from here to here in a tween situation, and it gets a negative number where it's not expecting, and so it draws them way down here. I think they actually start way below the ground and move their way up when the time difference is big enough. So that's my working theory, and so I'm not going to fix it because this is a debug operation. But they should, right now, they should go on patrol. Okay, so where are you going? You're thinking about it. There you go. All right, where are you guys going today? It should be the next spot from before. There we go. So then I'm going to have to work out why they don't transition to the next activity. So that may be requiring some additional debugging. Perhaps I could make the radius much smaller. No, so see, they went back to the same... Oh, no, yeah, this was the second one they were supposed to go to, because they were up there. Oh, no, that's not true. They should be at a different spot today. Right? Yeah, because this is the same one they came to last time. So that's not right. Yeah, because every day they should get, just like the watch, they should get a different set of patrol spots. Huh. I mean, I could see by doing this, just advance time a day. I think that's really going to confuse the AI. Actually, it'll be a good test because it's not supposed to happen. So we're going to really, you can see the time moving really fast. So yeah, they'll... Oh yeah, so that guy's tending camp. This guy's patrolling where he thinks he's supposed to patrol. So the patrol is not advancing. I wonder if it's a case where... Am I setting... No, I have to be setting the patrol correctly. Patrol spot first, second, third. Yeah, it's getting... First patrol. The other guy should have walked over here, though. You see, it's noon now, so he's heading to his next assignment. I'm not sure where the other guy got stuck. Oh, he's already there, or he's already headed there. He was in the middle of walking to the other one when we switched over. But the day should change each day they should advance to a different starting spot. Actually, it'd be better if it was random. Which is fine. Actually, we recalculate every day. We could just do it random. Because it's otherwise a little predictable that the next day they'll start at the second patrol spot, and the next day they'll start at the third patrol spot, and so on. So it probably should be random. Which is okay, because we only need to set the schedule for the whole day. Anyway, I would like to know why it's not advancing, though. So let's look up first patrol. Grep first patrol. Mythruna log. Oh, we don't see it. Oh, because I spelled it wrong. Okay, first patrol day 0. First patrol 6. So yes. Let's advance one more day and see what happens. So real quickly we advance it. So, but I mean, so we're about to switch over to the next time as well. Unfortunately, so he's a tend camp guy. He's going to go back and tend the camp. She's still doing water accuracy. She finally gets her patrol. Yeah, so actually she starts here today, so that's correct. And if we grep, we should see, yeah, so she started at the next place. And the other person should be walking over. Yep, I can see them. They're coming over this way. They're taking a weird route to do it. Or she is broken and he's supposed to, yeah. The real patrol spot is up here. Yep, and we just hit the bug again. Okay, so if I want to debug this, issue, I need to eliminate the other issue because I just killed both of these guys. Once they lose their head thing, they are no longer active, and I don't know why that happens. This guy's still active. Right, the spot got deactivated. And so those entities were deactivated and they'll never come back. Like, I've never figured out a way to get them to come back. I've teleported all the way across the world and back again. And they don't reactivate correctly. So I don't know what to do about that. But one of the things that I can do to mitigate the issue is to reduce the radius of the patrol so that it's within, you know, a certain distance of the camp that maybe won't trigger that particular problem. So let's do that. So he's already arrived, that's fine. Okay, hey, they reactivated. I say that never happens. He's having trouble getting up though. You're gonna give up on your jump in a second, aren't you? Retry 2 of 0. Yeah, so that's a busted. Okay, the other woman has never come back though. She's still stuck somewhere. The thing is, like, these guys are still doing their thing. The original NPCs that I was playing around with. But yeah, I can't even find her. She might have fallen through the ground, for all I know. Let's look for the... Oh, nope, she's alive too. She's just already made it to that particular spot. So the thing is, you guys are not going to the right spots. I moved them in. Yes, they're broken again. I crossed a... I mean, if I turned on the grid, you guys would see it. But anyway, the points didn't move in either, so something else went wrong. Let's just head back to camp. Let me look at that again. Oh, I'm not using the radius, that's why. Doink. Okay. So now we should, yeah, there we go. Much closer stuff. Hopefully these guys, yeah, there they are. Coming back because it's dinner time. So they're going to come back and eat dinner. So they'll at least recover, I guess. Okay, so they should move on to the next one the next time. You stuck. There you go. Wink. Then you move. There we go. So you stop jittering around like an idiot. Yum, yum, yum. So let's advance time again. And it could be also that there's issues with advancing time. So that makes them go to sleep, and then one person starts the watch. And we'll do it. Yeah. Another 4 hours. Which puts us to 3:15. Now there's a different, yeah. I like it when you advance time really fast and you can see the stars turning as it catches up. It's a neat effect. Yeah, so they're doing their fast sleep. Zzz, 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 zzz. I think I'm going to remove this. Oh, apparently I can't. Oh, not with this tool. Okay, so 1 hour maybe, which puts us to 5:22. Yeah, it gives 30 seconds before breakfast. Just want to see them transition to breakfast. It's nice to know that I found a way to make them go brain dead again, so that I can track that down. Because I did a bunch of debugging and then I couldn't make it happen again, and so I thought maybe I'd fixed it, but no. But it used to happen really rarely to like the butterflies and the birds and stuff, and I just could never figure out why. Okay, so they're at breakfast. Let's do another 2 hours. Oops. Which puts them right before, yeah, so we got like 50 seconds before they hit their patrol again, and they should head over to one of these patrols over here. Yum, 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 as they really quickly advance through time here. See, the thing is, like on the back end, time was correct, and they issued all of the text. And but on the visual side, it's based on the time, and so as the time advances on the client, it knows where it's supposed to show these. Okay, so we're caught up. There we go. Now they're figuring out their way to their patrol. Did you guys fail, or are you still thinking? You're still thinking. I can see the streaming stuff down here as you think. At least I believe that's what you're doing. Yeah, oh, they both failed. Wherever they were trying to go, they can't make it. There's way too much debugging. Okay, so she's trying again. So I need to debug where, I need to have them point out where they're going when they pick a spot. Nope, she failed again. So where they're trying to go, they can't get to. Oh, probably in the building. There's probably a arrow in the building. Yeah, they actually can't get here. I don't know why. This is a navigable, so that'll be a debug thing I can do. Man, that's generating a lot of logging. Okay, so then let's get them to move on. Time 2 hours. So they should move on to their next one. Yeah. Here in a minute. Can't see. 12:42. Oh no, I guess yeah, they should be on their new. Oh, they failed to get to that one too. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I definitely need to clean up some of my logging when I was testing the activities. Fall evaluator, yeah. So there's something that fall evaluator is a pain in the butt because there's always bugs related to it. I have not figured them all out yet. That's basically when they're doing the nav functions. So they probably found their way into the nav. Probably found its way into the thing, but then for whatever reason could not fall back down these kind of things. It gets stuck for some reason. At least that's a theory. We'll have to figure out. Yeah, you guys look like idiots. No offense. Okay, well I could bring in the distance a little further too, because there is still an issue. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, see, they knew they were supposed to be over there, but they were trying to still head to the one in the library. So there's definitely something wrong with the patrol transitions. Because they should have for sure failed to get to this one. Oh, I bet they were trying to nav through here. Yeah, that's a problem. Alright, so you guys are patrolling here. And then right now you should be heading somewhere else. Okay, you've got a null, which means something broke. There must be a problem with the transition. Yeah, but there's nothing here. So like if I reset the script, they'll move on to the next place because they know where they're supposed to be, but it didn't. Yeah, see, they're supposed to have already moved on to the next patrol. Oh, see, now she's stuck again. She walked across. So let me show you what I'm talking about. There's these imaginary grids of yeah, so when I crossed here, I messed up the activation. Yeah, so now she's active again. Right? And there's a bug. When I cross here, she deactivates. He stays active. he deactivates too. That's not supposed to happen. So there's definitely a bug with respect to which zones are active and which are not. They're both in the same zone, so that makes no sense whatsoever. But he bugged out too. No activity. That's because the on activate's busted. So that's what happened there. That's what the same reason that when I first start the game I have to come in here and hit the script. It's because for whatever reason the when they become active the first time, that's messed up if a certain state isn't already loaded. So that's the same bug I need to fix for another reason. So they're patrolling around there. Then they'll come back to the base here in a few minutes. So this is kind of like what my life is going to be like over the next few days, is fixing all these little bugs, because I can't really proceed to the next things now until I get like all these little bugs fixed. But definitely that activation bug is really annoying. So if I cross here, yeah, so she already lost, he already lost. I have no idea why, but I really like that I'm able to see this so often now, because hopefully I'll be able to debug it now. So yeah, so he's brain dead. He got deactivated and reactivated and has no idea what he's supposed to be doing, even though it says so on his, yeah. So there's definitely a bug in the thread handling or something with respect to activation, deactivation, and he died now. No, he's still alive. Okay. Yeah, so see, like that makes no sense. I thought it was originally a zone activation issue, but it can't be, because he continued to work while somebody else in the exact same zone failed. It makes no sense. But it could also be that it's the same bug. Like the fact that they go brain dead when there's the fact that even when I reset, when they come back, they're brain dead. That could be related. To be honest, it could be a threading issue. Anyway, I think that's all I'm gonna do tonight, because it's just about my dinner time. Hopefully it was entertaining. We didn't have as many people on as last time, but we had a somewhat lively conversation for a bit there. Hopefully you find this interesting. It's just a lot of work. So, it's working through it. Hopefully by next time I have like the automatic placement of the camper. Maybe we'll work through that together. But I'd like to have at least these bugs fixed by next time. So anyway, that's where I'm going to end it. Thanks for watching, guys. It truly is a privilege to have you guys join me every week. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. YouTube loves to be fed. The algorithm really loves to be fed. Yeah, and if you're doing something productive, I hope you have a way more productive week than I do. Next week we might have like a little bit of a special one. I don't know yet, because it is actually my birthday next Friday, or this coming Friday. So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Catch you later.